Hello, I'm Kirk, and welcome to this week's Notes from the Sketchbook podcast. This week's artwork has been inspired by Nijinsky, the famous Russian ballet dancer who was a major star at the turn of the 20th century. It's a fascinating story, filled with tragedy and someone who really pushed the boundaries. I hope you enjoy it, and here it is.
If I say the name Nijinsky, there may be a possibility that with Cheltenham Gold Cup week, you might think I'm talking about a horse. I'm not. This week in history on the 12th of March marked the birth in 1890 of Václav Nijinsky, who would go on to become one of the most famous and controversial ballet dancers of the 20th century. The story of Václav Nijinsky is a tragic one, filled with moments of intense beauty and creativity, but also marred by the devastating impact of mental illness. His parents were dancers with the Setov Opera Company, and they had Václav touring with them before he could even say pli. Nijinsky's brother and sister also were part of the group, with his sister Bronislava even becoming a choreographer and working closely with him throughout his career. But it was Václav who really made waves in the dance world. At the age of 9, he was accepted into the Imperial Ballet School in St. Petersburg, graduating in 1907. He quickly became a member of the Imperial Ballet and was already snagging starring roles, but Nijinsky's career really took off when he joined the Ballets Russes in 1909. This new ballet company was started by the impresario Sergei Diaghilev, who took the Russian ballet scene to Paris and blew everyone's minds. Nijinsky quickly became the company's star male dancer, causing a story every time he hit the stage. Diaghilev saw something special in him, and the two became lovers. With the Ballets Russes, Nijinsky was able to really experiment with dance and choreography, creating innovative works that broke new ground for male dancers. He became a total sensation and household name, forever changing the ballet world. Now, Nijinsky wasn't content with just being an incredible dancer. He wanted to make his own mark on the ballet world. In 1912, he started choreographing his own ballets, including L'après-midi d'un Faune, to music by Claude Debussy, Le Sacre du Printemps, to music by Igor Stravinsky, Je, until Eulenspiegel. These were revolutionary at the time. L'après-midi d'un Faune caused huge waves with its sexually suggestive final scene, scandalous, and Le Sacre du Printemps, let's just say fights broke out in the audience and caused a riot. Nijinsky was really pushing boundaries, both as ballet as an art form and socially. He originally envisioned Je as a piece with 3 male leads, but Diaghilev insisted it be danced by 1 man and 2 women. He was ahead of his time by 100 years. In 1913, he met and eventually wed with a Hungarian aristocrat named Romola de Pulski while on tour in South America. Nijinsky and Romola had 2 daughters together, Kira and Tamara Nijinska. An enraged Diaghilev wasn't too thrilled with this whole situation, and soon Nijinsky was excluded from the ballet world. Interned during the outbreak of the World War I as deemed a Russian enemy in Budapest, he was under house arrest in Hungary until 1916. The stress had taken a toll on Nijinsky's mental health, and his condition only worsened. Even after intervention from his ex-lover Diaghilev and other international leaders secured his release, his mind became increasingly unstable. In his last public performance, the renowned pianist Arthur Rubinstein would begin to cry at the obvious confusion and distress Nijinsky could see in this once great artist. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 1919, and from that point onwards, his life became a cycle of hospitalizations, treatments, and relapses. Despite the setbacks, there were moments of hope and inspiration. In 1945, after moving to Vienna with his wife Romola, Nijinsky stumbled upon a group of Russian soldiers playing folk tunes on traditional instruments. The sound of the balalaika and the other instruments immediately transported him back to his childhood in Russia, and he began to dance with a passion and intensity that amazed the soldiers. For a brief moment, Nijinsky's illness seemed to lift, and he was once again able to communicate with those around him. drinking and laughing with the soldiers, he regained his voice and found joy in the simple pleasure of making music and dancing. Sadly, these moments of respite were all too brief. Nijinsky's mental health continued to deteriorate, and he spent much of his remaining years in and out of psychiatric institutions. The world lost one of its greatest dancers when Nijinsky passed away in 1950 at the age of 60 in London. Yet despite the tragedy of his life, Nijinsky's legacy continues to inspire new generations of dancers and artists. His passion for dance and his unwavering commitment to his craft has left an indelible mark on the history of art, and his memory remains a testament to the power of creativity and human resilience in the face of adversity.
Well, that was quite an amazing story, really. Quite sad, but it was a very interesting life, I suppose, and one that burned quite short, but very brightly. Well, you'll be able to find all the artwork related to this week's Notes from the Sketchbook on the website www.basesketch.art, and we're on all the usual social media as well, so you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and even Twitter. For now, we'll see you next time. Ta-ra!